White, and you are watching the first episode of Ebony Visions that you can watch every week on the Ohio Ebony Network. And we are blessed and delighted to have with us today Sister Shondale from the Mustard Seed Foundation, who will be talking about the upcoming event this weekend dealing with issues that affect young women. Rise, Sister, Rise. And we are happy to have Sister Shondale Atkinson, the CEO of the Mustard Seed Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about the Mustard Seed Foundation?
Okay. The Mustard Seed Foundation was founded in June of 2007. I started the organization to be able to focus in on the need of residential care for teenage moms with their children here in our area in the Montgomery County. It's residential for young ladies who have kids already, that's ages 13 to 18. And our goal is to restore families and continue to have young ladies placed with their children and give them the opportunity to raise their own child.
Okay, and so basically the Mustard Seed is to help and give a support base for pregnant teens? Young
ladies that's already parenting.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
And how do young ladies find out about your organization?
They can be referred in from other social service agencies. Predominantly all of our referrals come in from like Montgomery County Children's Services and other children's service, well, within like the 88 counties in the state of Ohio. Okay. So we can take young ladies' referrals from anywhere. Churches can refer them, hospitals, you know, other organizations that they may come across trying to get help in other services, and they may seek also residential help, so they will refer them over.
Okay. What are some of the programs that you have at the Mustard Seed Foundation?
We provide independent living
okay.
classes there on site. We do educational enrichment, parenting classes, life skills, and we also work with the young ladies in getting them enrolled in college and in secondary educational goals.
Okay.
So we try to provide a wraparound services with the young ladies where everything is provided up under one roof, including child care while they continue to go to school or work.
Now, do you all provide housing also for them at the facility, or is that?
We do. It's a 24-hour facility staffed with individuals called family support workers, and these individuals work with the young ladies hands-on, and they also work with their children every day. But it is a residential center where they do stay there.
Okay, because I did notice that they also not only work with the mothers, but they work with the children. In what way do they work with the children?
One of the things that we do that's very important is getting the children prepared for Head Start or preschool. So the kids come in and they're anywhere from the ages of birth to 3 years old. And we focus on primarily educational outcomes with the kids also. And the staff, once again, it's like a child care setup where when they drop the children off in the daytime, we say drop them off even though they're just taking them downstairs to the staff. But we also train them that every day you want to understand what your child has done in this setting. So it's going to be just like if you're dropping them off at a child care center. When you come in, you want to ask those important questions, or you want to be able to sign your paper saying, my child had a temperature today, my child went on a field trip, my child ate this amount of food today, or they weren't feeling well. So you want to be able to get a report from us just like you would at a child care center. And then you want to be able to ask those important questions. You know, did you give my child Tylenol? What was done today with my child that I should know about? So it's definitely just like a child care setting when they go to school or work.
Now, you said that the ages were 13 to 21, and as far as the child, does the child have to be a certain age?
The baby has to be under the age of 3 at the time of admission. Okay.
And then you all will work with that child up to, I guess, up until the young girl graduates? Or?
Yes, when she's emancipated out of care.
Okay.
Or graduates the program, and then we'll work with the child up until that point.
And the Mustard Seed Foundation has 4 focus areas. Can you touch on those areas?
We do. We have the Positive Teen Development, where we do the Teenage Girls Conference every year. And that is focused on young ladies, once again, coming out, and we work together to build self-esteem and other positive teen workshops that focus on teen dating violence, substance and alcohol abuse in your community, self-esteem building, And then we also have a program called Not One More that we are rolling out this year.
Not One More.
Not One More. And that focuses on the child and infant mortality rates that we're seeing. I mean, and focusing on the community where we're hearing a lot about the, young mothers or young men that are abusing and hurting their kids, and their kids are dying at their own hands. So, developmental milestones is what we'll be teaching. We'll also be teaching about coping with signs and symptoms of postpartum depression. So that program I'm excited about that one, because that'll really just, go in and working with schools and other community agencies. Then we have the TMSF home, of course, that we talked about the Teenage Moms' residential services. And then the Cardio Kids Camp is a program up under the Mustard Seed Foundation where we do summer camps with kids from ages 5 to 13, and it focuses on healthy mind and body. Teaching young kids how to eat healthy snacks, nutritional education. We also work with community gardens.
Great.
So the young kids, they do plant a garden in the summer and learn how to plant seeds and watch them grow.
Now you all are a 501c3 organization, and you all have been licensed by the Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services, and those credentials, of course, make your organization legitimate. So that's something that people would not have to be concerned about.
Definitely, to get that licensure is a very, what I felt like was a crucial moment for us. It definitely did solidify the work that I was doing in the community. To become a residential parenting facility, we're the only one in Montgomery County and only one of 2 in the state of Ohio. So that's not something that I take lightly, is that licensure. So yes, they did license us, and we are doing a continual improvement with that licensing.
And not only are you the only one, but you were the first.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
You have been recognized as one of the top 25 women to watch for in the business network. How do you feel about being recognized as one of the top 25 women to watch for in a business network?
It felt great, because I know that there are numerous women in this community that are doing awesome work, and I am very humble to be amongst the ones that were honored in 2011. So, because I know that they could have picked a whole variety. I mean, it's just the community is just, the women in this community are just doing awesome things. So, I mean, it feels good to me, because, from where I came from to be at this point, it's a major accomplishment. So
let's get right into this event that you have coming up, Rise Sister Rise. Let me go ahead and read just a little bit. Evaluating African American girls, elevating African American girls' experience of trauma and resiliency in Ohio's communities. Can you help us to understand a little bit more about what this event is, and what can people expect when they come to it?
Yes, Rise Sister Rise was actually a program that was started by a woman named Fran Frazier. She is actually the principal investor over Rise Sister Rise. What Fran has done was she's went into different communities, 4 different communities, and in the cities of Ohio. That's what she did. And she actually sold this mission, to individuals, that this research needed to be done, that it was an important research that needed to be done when we were evaluating African American girls in our communities. We were wanting to find out, one, where are the barriers to services, resources? What is it that these young African American women need? And then how do we get them the resources that they need? So working with Fran, one of the things that she wanted to do was not only do research, but from the data that we received, then put action steps into place. So not only are we saying, hey, we want to do research and find out what it is that you need, or where are your barriers and where's the breakdown of services, but where do we start to make sure that we're implementing these things as a result of the research?
Because the numbers definitely don't lie, and then the numbers can give you an indication of where the problem is.
Yes.
And so you were saying that she went, and it says here, to Akron, Columbus, Dayton, Lima, and Cincinnati, and more than 400 African American girls were surveyed. And so this is to give insight into their lives and their experience of these young girls. And so this conference is to basically give the information or the public the data that was compiled, and then to come up with an action plan.
We also wanted to make sure that we were able to share the data with the young ladies that were researched, or where the research had come from, or that data. So one of the things that we wanted to do Saturday was bring in real women in the community to share in the hearing of the data, and then also to facilitate conversation with the young women to say, you know, this is what it is that we've gained from it, but what would you like to see happen in your community? What do you feel like some of the things that, you know, that the research that we received from you, what would you like to see the action steps be? And then also work with, like I said, the real women of Dayton is what we call them.
Right.
And we're, I mean, it's flourishing, because, I mean, I'm so proud of the real women of Dayton because they've really stepped up.
Okay.
And these were just random women that all of us had the opportunity to ask if they wanted to sit on this committee and help us. So
this conference is going to be where and at what time?
The conference is going to be at the Charity Adams School for Girls. It is going to be Saturday, February the 18th, and it will be starting at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m. and then it will run until about 2:30 p.m. So it's an event where we'll have vendors that'll be coming out, and these are girl-focused vendors, where once again leading them to resources, introducing them to those resources. We'll have Miss Black Ohio there. You know, we have a number of people, and the young ladies can hear stories of trauma and resiliency, and you know, I'm one of the panelists.
Right.
So we'll talk about when we were girls.
You
know, when we were girls.
And so who should come out to this event?
Definitely a young lady if she's between the ages of 11 and 18. And then also any woman in our community that's interested in working with this population of young women, and then seeing what the next steps are in our community, because it's going to be a powerful movement. Right. You know, so any woman that want to be involved with this movement and understand, you know, the direction that Fran is trying to go in.
Excellent.
So yes.
So this is a movement.
This is a movement.
Is there anything that you would like to conclude with before we close out?
I would like to say thank you for having me, because it's important that we get the opportunity to network. So networking is very important in the nonprofit sector. So I appreciate you having me today, and once again I ask that you know the community keeps us in prayer, because you know we know by prayer things are done. So I definitely and you know in our scripture is Matthew 17:20, and I always say faith to grow a brighter tomorrow. And so just look for us tomorrow, because we'll be here.
Definitely.